let's shift our attention to how rumours of an army coup are swirling in Bangladesh, and with it has come the revelation of a big betrayal. In a yet-to-be-released book, ousted Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's Home Minister has not just called the power transfer a perfect CIA plot, but also alleged that Bangladesh Army Chief Waker-Uz-Zaman, a relative of Sheikh Hasina, is in its pockets, and she's referring to CI here. Also spoke of how he was the one who backstabbed her. So this is the big breaking news update coming in at the moment. Anandya Banerjee joins us with more. CI's man is what Sheikh Hasina's opined if we were to just go by this book. But tell us more, Anandya, and what does this point to? What does this suggest about the military coup which Sheikh Hasina is referring to?
Well, Sheikh Hasina has already said time and again and suggested in as many words that the Americans had a role to play. But now, Asaduzzaman, the number two, the second most powerful man in after Sheikh Hasina in her cabinet, Asaduzzaman, the Home Minister. Now he has said in as many words in a yet to be released book, Inshallah Bangladesh. That book is said rather claimed that it was a perfect plot of CIA, and it was hashed for a long time. What he has claimed, and what he surprisingly said that they had a knowledge of it. They had a knowledge of it for a long time, but what didn't have a knowledge was that even the army chief, Waker-Uz-Zaman, who happened to be a relative of the prime minister of the former prime minister Sheikh Hasina, was quote unquote in the pockets of the CIA. Now, very interestingly, if I may add, on just a day before Sheikh Hasina had to flee to India on 4th of August, there was a meeting, security meeting, and he details that how in that meeting, as a home minister of the country, he was trying to pitch in that how the police manned the streets and Gano Bhavan, that where the prime minister, the former prime minister Sheikh Hasina was housed in. But he said that how he insisted, rather, the Waker-Uz-Zaman, that why army should man every nook and corner of Gano Bhavan and streets of Dhaka, and how it turned to be that when the agitators flooded the roads on 5th of August 2024, he forced Sheikh Hasina to resign, and she had to flee for her life and fled to India, and the rest is history.
Okay, so these are key details, and this is the version that's coming in from Sheikh Hasina's Home Minister, Asaduzzaman Khan. Anandya, has a brief timeline also been laid out in this book of when this possible conspiracy began, when it unfolded, how it unfolded? Do we have a timeline here?
Well, we don't have a timeline, but what Asaduzzaman has said, that it was hatched for a long time. That he said that in this interview that the authors took on a coffee shop in Delhi, they said that it was hatched for a long time in Dhaka, and they had a knowledge of it. But they're confident. He suggested they were confident that everything was controlled, considering the fact that the army chief was on their side, because the army chief was the relative of Sheikh Hasina, and B was newly appointed because it was happening in August, and he was appointed in June 2024. So everything happened so fast, and they didn't know that probably he was recruited much earlier. He suggested, rather, he didn't say in as many words, probably recruited much earlier. And now with this big revelation, where he's accused in as many words that quote unquote in CIA's pockets, it remains to be seen that how the army chief, who continues to remain the army chief of Bangladesh, what explanation or what statement comes from him from Bangladesh.
So this is a big allegation that's now been leveled, wherein the then army chief, is being accused of plotting with the CIA. You're giving us a little bit of a background into this, Anindya, but there's also a bit, and if I go through what you're telling us, there's a bit wherein he was also countered with what interest it serves for the US to engage the CIA and indulge in a regime change as far as Bangladesh is concerned. Could we find out more as per the book on what US would ultimately achieve of this?
Absolutely. News 18 had a sneak peek into the book, which is yet to be released in the market, and But the authors put that question to the Home Minister, and the according to Asaduzzaman, he said that the Home Minister, the former Home Minister, he said that what he believes that the Americans didn't want three powerful leaders, Narendra Modi, Xi Jinping, and Sheikh Hasina, three powerful leaders in South Asia. So they wanted one leader to go away, and probably that's why they wanted one regime change there. And we probably sent Martin Island, as we all know.
Ananda, for joining us with all those details and breaking down that all important